Good morning, YouTube. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Today, I'm going to show you how to do some deadlifts. This is a little bit geared more towards beginners, but even if you've been deadlifting for a little while or just need a little bit of help with some technique, I hope this video can solve any problems that you got. So, let's get into it.
Yeah. Never not, never under yard, never ever, I'm forever on. Check my repertoire, check my repertoire, don't check me not. Let's just checks involved. I've been feeling like I'm next to God, next to God.
Alright, first things first. When we're deadlifting, please get rid of your running shoes, your tennis shoes. Take those off. Either find yourself some flat shoes or barefoot. Now, pretty common shoe to deadlift in are some Converse, Chuck Taylors. Vans are decent. Any kind of flat shoe. These things are nothing fancy. These were $10 at a Walmart, but you can even save yourself some money and just go barefoot, okay? Having a stable flat foot, just the same thing with like when you're squatting, being on a stable surface that's flat, the closer to the ground you are, the better. So please take off your padded running shoes. You don't need that stuff, okay? So this is gonna work whether you deadlift conventionally with a double overhand, over, under, or even sumo. These techniques and coaching cues will help you as well. So I myself deadlift conventionally with a double overhand grip. This is going to be kind of a guideline. You might have to tweak some things a little bit. Everybody's anatomy is a little bit different, okay? So this is how we're going to start, and then you can experiment a little bit keeping these things in mind. So feet are parallel to each other in hip width. Your hip width is not out here. Your hips are your pelvis bone, straight down, okay? So, feet, hip width, parallel to each other. That bar, before you even touch it, or if you need to move it into place, should be directly over the tongue of your shoe, okay? That needs to be over the middle of your foot. That is where the force is being driven into the ground when we lift. Same exact thing when we squat. You don't want to lean too far back into your heels. You don't want to lean forward. You're going to fall over. That force should be in the middle of your foot, okay? So bars over the tongue, feet parallel, under my hips. My hand or grip width, I stick my thumbs straight out, and then I bend straight down. That's my grip width, okay? So, thumbs out, reach down, grab the bar nice and tight. Make sure that your back is flat. Puff your chest out to the ground. Retract your shoulder blades. I like to think about putting my armpits into my pocket, especially when I'm going heavy. I almost kind of do this scooping motion, and I think about putting my armpit into my pocket and scooping back, puffing my chest out, keeping my back flat. I'm not trying to stick my butt out. We're not twerking, and I don't want to overarch my low back. I want to keep a neutral spine, head straight, spine straight from head to tailbone, basically, okay? So, when we're in this tight position now, we want to get tight, breathe nice and deep into our diaphragm. Imagine like you're about to get punched in the stomach, and it's a lot harder to breathe. It's a lot harder to talk. It's called bracing. Think about a white propane tank, like what you have for a barbecue, and you're trying to expand it in all areas. That's what you're doing with your midsection, with your trunk, okay? You're trying to brace, protect your spine, and use a lot of your strong core stabilizing muscles to protect yourself. So, feet parallel, hip width, grip, nice and tight, armpits into my pocket. Now, another thing, this will happen over time. It might not happen right away. But when I get tight, sometimes with a light weight, the weight will pop up just from me getting tight. I'm not even trying to lift the weight yet, okay? So just by doing this, that weight comes up. A drill that you can practice with is literally just doing that. Do 5 reps of that and just get tight. And that bar will come off 1/2 inch to 1 inch off the ground, okay? It's a good exercise to develop that technique of bracing and feeling what it's like to get tight. You need to be tight before you start to pull. And rather than thinking of pulling, I like to think about my feet driving into the ground. Rather than just pulling up, drive your feet into the ground, okay? So, getting tight before you pull is critical. I see a lot of inexperienced lifters or younger athletes, whatever it may be, they'll get tight, or they won't get tight, whether they're doing it right or wrong, and then they'll bend their elbows, dip down to the bar, and jerk the bar off the ground. You do not want to do that. You really want to avoid doing that, okay? You have a higher chance of injuring your spine, injuring your shoulders, and whatnot. You're not going to be able to lift as much weight if you try to jerk the bar off the ground. Get tight, brace, then lift. Drive those feet into the ground, okay? We're really trying to think about pulling that bar up and bringing our hips into that bar. We don't want to lean back. Stand up nice and tall. Squeeze your glutes into that bar, okay? Chest up. Don't overarch that low back. Don't stick it out. Squeeze those hips. Squeeze those big glute muscles into that bar when you finish. So, bottom to top. Feet parallel, hip width, arms out, or thumbs out, straight down. My elbows are locked out, okay? That's going to help you, it'll prevent you from jerking the bar off the ground. Something before I forget, when we get tight, it takes slack out of the bar. What is slack? That noise is slack. Different bars have a different amount of slack, or a whip, which is a bend in the bar. That sound is the space in between the plate and the barbell when it's on. You want to pull that slack out of the bar before you pull, and that's what's going to happen when you get tight. Just that alone. You can practice that as well. The bar doesn't have to come off the ground. So, we'll start over. Hip width, parallel, arms down, elbows tight, brace, take the slack out of the bar, and drive your feet into the ground and lift. Hips straight through. I'm not leaning back. I'm standing up tall, chest tall, shoulders back, glutes into the bar. Don't finish the movement without your glute squeeze, because now I'm really relaxed and I can feel a lot of pressure in my low back. Finish with your glute squeeze, straight back down. Keep that bar against as close to your body as possible. Shortest way from point A to point B is a straight line. So, I really hope those tips help. They will help you whether you're doing an overhand, double overhand, or a sumo deadlift. If you're a beginner, I highly recommend starting like this, then experiment a little bit, whether it's a wider grip, wider stance, based on what works for you. Again, proper foot attire is critical. Always brace. Keep yourself safe. If you want programming, if you want tips, like the video, subscribe to the channel, go follow us on Instagram, leave a comment, let us know what other kind of videos you guys want, other coaching you want, and God bless everybody.